Okay. Yay, yay, yay. Bringing the candle to glow. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, I'm gonna mute you guys. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you guys. Okay, so just so you know, I will have the chat up. So if you guys have any questions or anything you want to comment on, chat about, put it in the chat and I will definitely address your questions because I have a feeling we should have some good questions here today. So I'm just going to wait a couple minutes and let everybody kind of pop on. It's okay if some are late, but definitely chat with each other in the chat box. I will keep my eyes on it. I will be watching. And there we go. Okay. I know it's kind of a funky time in the afternoon, but this is the perfect time. And I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. I'm excited. So I'm going to start with this workshop, which, by the way, I will put this recording inside of the House of Bliss so you guys can watch this and play it back later if there are any notes that you want to take. And maybe I'll put it up on YouTube or something. So anyone who is not in the House of Bliss can watch it too. But hi, I see all of your beautiful places, all your beautiful faces. Yay. Okay, good. Be listening, be taking notes. I am here with you. I love you guys. Thank you for showing up. So this call, I'm so excited about this little call, this little kind of impromptu call today that was supposed to happen on 2/22, but I lost my voice over the weekend and just felt such a crazy energy. I wanted to shift it to today, and I feel like today is a really powerful day. On March 1st, I'm actually celebrating 3 years in business for Love Ashleyna Jewelry, for my jewelry brand. And so I wanted to host this call today because I noticed there were a lot of girls in my community in the House of Bliss, and there were a lot of girls just that I coach or that I run into in life or just on Instagram in my community that I feel like are having a hard time in business when it comes to this particular area. So I decided to, I'm just going to tell you guys up front, I decided to create the second round of Soul Aligned 21-day course, 21-day motivational video course, and it's called Soul Aligned for Success. It really is about entrepreneurship and business. But even if you don't own a business, even if you work for somebody else, it's about showing up in your purpose in life, showing up confidently, showing up asking for the raise, asking for the sale, asking for what you want. And I find that we women have such a hard time prioritizing ourselves, our inner work, our confidence when it comes to work and business, when it comes to our dreams, when it comes to the projects we're pursuing or the passions that we're pursuing. So that is what I created this course for, but that's also what I'm going to talk about today in this class. I kind of wanted to give you guys a beginning masterclass to kind of set you up and celebrate 3 years that I have been in business with Love Ashleyna Jewelry. And I want to kind of dig it up today. I want to share with you guys because my jewelry business has been the most probably difficult business for me to run and to grow. It is fully hands-on business. It's jewelry that I make. Everything that I've done before, most of you know I was an interior designer for 12, 15 years. And I had an interior design practice and an interior design blog. And I'll touch on a little bit of that too, on how I ran and grew that. And then I did online coaching and I moved to sort of this other space, writing ebooks and creating courses and creating content. But the jewelry business is actually this business that is like, I actually make the product. I'm actually taking my own pictures. I'm selling it. It's like a boutique hands-on business, right? So it's a little bit different. So I'm going to be sharing with you, I was like in reflection in the last 3 years of business, truly the last 15 years in business for myself. the 4 things that I have noticed that have helped me grow the most. A lot of the girls inside of the House of Bliss have these passion projects or jobs or businesses, or maybe they're just wanting to jump in their career. They want a pay raise, something. A lot of this comes not only from having the inner confidence, but also knowing the inner work, knowing what to do inside of you to have yourself confidently ask for what you want, confidently share more, confidently express yourself. I can't tell you how many people since I started Love Ashleyna Jewelry, I have actually seen there have been women that came into the House of Bliss, were in the House of Bliss for a little bit and started their own crystal jewelry business, like crystal jewelry practice, started making jewelry. Some of them were like literal knockoffs of mine. Some of them were not. Some of them, they kind of had their own spin. But something I noticed differently about each of these girls and each of their businesses were they were not necessarily original. They did not have strong branding. They did not do the things that you need to do on the back end of business. And let me kind of explain this a little bit. I can always tell when a woman in business is looking around at other women businesses and sort of ripping off what they're doing. And it's not even in a bad way. We all get inspired about what other women are doing. Maybe they start a book club. Maybe they start a real estate business. Maybe they'll start a jewelry business, a beaded jewelry business. But we tend to, as women, look around at what everybody else is doing and sort of take something that they're doing thinking, oh, that might work for me too. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen this done. I can't tell you how many times people have done it like to me. I've even had girlfriends sort of say, oh, I think I'm going to quit my job and do what you're doing. And a lot of times they think it's just going to immediately happen. I see girls a lot of times in those multi-level marketing things where they're like Arbonne or the oils or whatever. And it may work for somebody and they may make a ton of money, but then the other girl kind of goes into it and immediately flops and can't figure out why it's not working for her. And what I really want to share with you and tell you on this call today is it's all about you. It is all about your inner work. It is all about your inner confidence and being able to show up super visibly, being super visible, super loud, super big, and honestly, bigger than you think you are. I talk to a lot of people and we discuss like social media tips, right? Showing up on your Facebook in front of all of your friends or showing up on Instagram in front of a lot of people. They're like, well, I did this. I posted this today, or I posted that, a couple days ago. But when you are in business for yourself, when you are working on anything, you have to be the loudest girl in the room. If you can imagine and understand that there are so many other people that are probably doing what you are trying to do or have the same idea of what you're trying to do. Number one, are you able to take action on your idea? Are you even fully executing your idea? Or do you get caught? Do you get stuck with what they call the resistance? The fear-based thoughts that have you holding on to like, well, my website's not perfect. This is not perfect. That's not perfect yet. This needs to look like this before I can do it. I will tell you one thing about my jewelry business. When I started it was 2019, March 1st. And so it was right before, like it was around this time, it was February, when I have my little baby at home and I'm spending my days literally still so tired, but I don't know if any of you moms can relate to this, but after you have a child, you like lose yourself a little bit. And before child, I am like interior designer, blogger extraordinaire, like bomb, boss, girl, boss queen, always like going after my dreams. And I just felt such confidence in what I did. And I didn't have that anymore. After having a child, I couldn't go after that. I couldn't work as hard in that way. as I had before. And part of me felt like I lost myself a little bit. And I needed something to do while I was at home with my baby while he was napping. And I remember for my birthday that year, which was in January, I got like a $500 gift card or something to go like buy whatever I wanted. And all I wanted to do was get my hands into something. I wanted to do something creative. I wanted to do something that, I could do with my hands. And I started making those little like feng shui sun catchers for friends and, different things. And I would like sell them and it was fun. And then I decided shortly after that to start making crystal bracelets because I wanted that. I had been wearing them for years, like the hippy dippy ones. And I wanted to add glamorous things on them to make them a little bit more like me, to make them a little bit more my style. So I spent my money doing that. And I became obsessed. I was in love with them. I wanted every crystal and every style. I wanted to be always layered up in chunky bracelets and bangles and like boho glam. That's just like what I wanted to do for myself. It was what I was obsessed with. Now, shortly after that, I started making them for friends. And then I had a woman come up to me at a restaurant and ask me, where did you get your jewelry? And she wanted to buy the whole stack off of my wrist. And then in that moment, I had this thought like, I need to turn this into a business. In that moment, I started. In that moment, I didn't have a website. I didn't have a logo. I didn't even have a business name. I didn't have any of that. But I started the business. I took creative action. I went ahead and went for it. And not only did I go for it, I started telling everybody immediately about this business. I did not hide. I was loud and proud. I wasn't like, well, I'll start promoting this. I'll start talking about this when someone could take me seriously or when, someone gives me permission to say that it's a legitimate business. No, I went all in like immediately. March 1st was the day that I put them online. I took a picture, I put them on the website. Like I had this little store website I was selling my ritual candles on. And I just went for it. I went all in after this, like it had been a thriving business. Like it had been something I had been doing for years. I went after it fully and completely with nothing behind me. And I really want this point to come across because I feel like a lot of us get caught up in the perfectionism. A lot of us get caught up in what things are going to look like. And immediately after that, I cannot tell you, it was like sale and then sale and then sale and then sale and then sale. I ended up starting an Instagram for it. I sold $20,000 of jewelry 1 month strictly on Instagram. Strictly on Instagram. So you don't even have to have a website for your jewelry to get things going fast enough, right? To get things moving. Things do not have to be perfect. You just have to go. And not only do you have to go, you have to be loud. And what do I mean by loud? Getting rooted and getting grounded in yourself and your confidence and your story to get out and shout out and tell everybody who you are and what you are up to and what you are doing over and over and over and over. Can you be the loudest girl in the room without feeling like you're overbearing, without feeling like you're doing too much, without feeling like you're talking too much, without feeling like people are judging you? How often do you sit there and think, I'm not going to do this? Okay, hold on. I'm just admitting some other people. I'm not going to do this or that because my stepmother's sister follows me on Instagram and she might judge me. Or my like friend's cousin or whatever might be on Instagram and they might judge me, or they're going to think I'm crazy, or they're going to be annoyed of me, or what is this person going to think? What is that person going to think? How often do you keep yourself in a box because you're worried about what everybody else is thinking about you? Where are you not playing full out in your business, in your passion, and in your life? Like, where are you hiding out? If you are not to where you want to be financially, I'm going to promise you something, you're hiding. You're hiding somewhere. So if you can sit right here, right now, and say, I'm actually killing it. And you're probably not, because that's probably not why you're here, right? I'm fully killing it. I'm making what I want. I'm pulling it in every month. You may not have a problem with this, but if you are not where you desire to be, I promise you, you're hiding. This is not a game of like you need more strategy. This is a game that you need to be more visible. Where are you not visible enough? Where are you not showing up enough? I wear my jewelry everywhere. And this was like a point, this is when it all really changed for me. I would wear it like, and this is a good stack for me, about 5 bracelets, right? But I started wearing like 8. Sometimes I wear 10. I'm ridiculous about it. I post like crazy about it on Instagram. I actually haven't recently, if you've been watching, but at this time when I was really growing it, I was going so hard posting on Facebook, posting on my blog, posting on Instagram, telling all my friends, always talking about what I'm up to. And sometimes we feel like, you know, these people don't want to hear about that, right? I don't want to bore these people. But guess what? And for you girls in the House of Bliss, this is something we're working on at the end of the month. I just put in a new module for you. Whether you like it or not, you have a personal brand. Whether you like it or not, you are a personal brand. And whether you like it or not, you have a purpose in this world. God gave you, the divine gave you a specific purpose for this world. You have you have a message to share. You have a mission to accomplish. That's why you're here. We're meant to grow. We're meant to learn. In every little moment, we're meant to use that as like ways to find a story. Thank you, Emily. I see your comment. How do we take what we're going through in life, turn it into a story where we've learned something? Like your job, number one, I'm going to start finding the silver linings in everything in life. I'm going to start looking at every little problem I run into, every little issue, every little thing as an opportunity to find the silver lining, to find the gold, to find a message. And then I'm going to turn around and share it. I'm going to share the stuff I go through. I'm going to share the mess in my life. I'm going to share the difficult things in my life. And a big part of the beginning of my jewelry business, I remember always telling people, I wore crystals on my wrist because that's what kept me calm during pregnancy. I was terrified. I was terrified of giving birth. I was terrified of like all these things. I had such anxiety. My anxiety was crazy. And I suffered from incredible, what do you call it? PTSD, because I had an emergency C-section, but also, the postpartum depression. I had horrible postpartum depression, and I had an IUD put in, birth control. It made me feel even more crazy. Like I was a mess. And I would share this all the time. And girls would ask me like, how are you handling this? How are you holding it all together? Because my life was kind of all over the place. And I always was like, my jewelry, my crystals, they keep me zen. They keep me grounded. Here's what they mean. I shared my message, my story with everybody. I was fully visible. There was this girl group that I was a part of in Austin, a group of entrepreneurial women. And it was called Glam Soiree. And every month we would have this dinner. And one time in the middle of dinner, I literally stood up and I had all my jewelry there. And one of the girls was with me. And I was like, I'm just a new mom and I started this new adventure and I'm obsessed with crystals. And I just like kind of shared my story. I was terrified. I was shaking in the middle of this dinner and I was wearing all this jewelry and I kind of showed all the girls. And immediately after I shared my story, I like shed a tear. All the girls, there were probably about 45, 50 women there, all immediately started clapping. They were like, where can I buy them? So they weren't on a website yet. And I picked up this bag right behind me and it had all my jewelry in there, like ready to sell. And I think I sold like $5,000 that night. And let me tell you something. I was terrified. I wasn't going to talk about it. And one of the girls who hosts the dinner, she was like, I want you to sell your jewelry. I want you to, put a booth. And I showed up with all my jewelry and I said, never mind. I don't want to do it. I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, they're going to think I'm some like weird woo-woo chick. I had just told all these women I'm an interior designer, right? At the last like meeting, because that's what I do. Feng shui, interior design. I'm a blogger, like all this stuff. Like they're gonna think I am like Polly crazy, just pulling out all this shit, right? Like I just was terrified. And one of the girls was like, she kind of gave me this little nudge, like, just go ahead. And I just shared my story. I just told kind of like I'm telling you guys, right? And in the sharing of the story, every single woman connected to one thing I said. One thing. This is why in the House of Bliss, I love for you girls to just like talk and share, because I promise you, everyone is picking one thing that they relate to. And they're going, ooh, I can feel that. That's me. There's this moment of connection, moment of relation when they're like, take my money. I want that too, because money and payment is just energy. It's just this way of going, here, I'm with you. I love you. I support you. Like, let's make the world a better place together. That's what money is. That's what payment for your services is. That's what buying your product is. So when you're out there and you want to grow your business, sell your product, start, get people on board with your project or your dream or this foundation you want to start or whatever it is, it's about sharing your story. It's really about telling your truth. It's about showing up in room after room after room after room, over and over and louder and louder. And if you are not connected enough to your story, connected enough to a bigger story, not just, let me use this I'll use like jewelry, for example, but not just like, oh, I have I make beaded bracelets, like I make crystal jewelry. And that's kind of like what I want to share with the world. Right. Or one of my bigger thing is, right, I have a podcast. I want to help inspire women to live their best lives. That's like my bigger story. Why? Because that's who I wanted to be. And I was stuck in a masculine way of life for so long, living in New York, chasing after the dream, trying to figure out how to make the most money, how to be, all the most successful, get in the magazines, do all of these things. That was the way that we were 10 years ago. We were like taught to do business. It was this very like masculine chasing it, chasing it, chasing it. And when I finally went through my spiritual awakening and had my child and started leaning back and slowing down and understanding that connecting with myself, connecting with my story, getting to know myself deeper and just living in this blissful space changed my life, opened up all the doors for me. I want to share that with everybody because nobody had, like at the time I started, nobody was sharing that with us. Nobody was saying there was any way. It was all men teaching how to be more successful in things. There weren't many women talking about that, talking about blogging. When I started blogging, I had to figure it all out on my own. But when I started my blog back in 2008, I got up every single morning and was like up and just sharing my story. I can just imagine how my boyfriend felt about me being up till 3 a.m., like researching how to like do, what do you call it, like coding for websites or how to like create things. It's like the nerdiest, weirdest stuff. It didn't even exist really back in the day. People didn't understand it at all. They didn't understand my passion, what I was doing, what I was going for. Right. And so when we have any desire in our heart and we want to make it big, we have to remind ourselves, you have a mission. You're meant to be big. You're meant to live loud. You're not starting a business or starting a project or doing something to make a little bit of money and just like play small. Just get in there and I just want to do a little bit and just like, that's it. No, you're meant to be the best. You're meant to be the biggest. You're meant to grow the most. You're meant to be on top. You're meant to experience bliss, experience wild satisfaction in what you're doing. You're meant to have a particular message in your heart so that you can share with other people that will go well beyond what it is you're doing. My message for my jewelry goes well beyond than just actual jewelry. There's so much more I want to say, even in just having the business and what it's looked like having the business for me. So I'm going to start going through my like 4 reflections. And if you guys have any questions, honestly, put them in the chat box. What do you want to know about growing your business? And that's what we're going to talk about in Soul Aligned Success. Every single morning for 21 days, you are going to get a motivational pep talk and an action to take in your business, an action to help you go forward, go bigger. But I will tell you this, it is not going to be like, here's how to post on Instagram or use these strategies or use hashtags or da 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 da. No, we're going to go slow. We're going to get quiet and we're going to help you dig deeper to find your message, your unique message, your unique spin, like what is in your guts to birth and create. Because only you know what's for you. Like I told you before, you know, I saw all these girls starting their own crystal jewelry businesses. I haven't seen one really thrive and be successful. And I'll tell you why. It's because they didn't do the inner work, the inner excavation within themselves to find their unique message, to find their unique reason why, their unique voice. You can't just put up product and expect people to connect with you, or put up a service and expect people to connect with you, or show something and try to sell it without sharing more of you. It's not like the product sells itself. No, your story shares a message, and the thing that they're buying is the message. Think about this. Think about like Chanel, right? The brand. You buy a Chanel bag because of its message. I'm luxurious. I'm worth a lot of money. This is quality. This is polished. It's high end. It's refined. It's a message. And Coco Chanel told her story. Her story sells that bag still to this day. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I have several Chanel bags and they're not that great. Like they get kind of dirty easily. They don't hold, it's like not the best well-made bag. I have others that I think are way better. But her story, the whole brand, the whole vibe is what sells that bag and has it coming. And she obviously had a message, had a bigger message, a bigger purpose in the world. And she went for it, despite all of her setbacks, despite, you know, the fact that she was a woman in the fashion industry and all of the different things. She went for it and she was loud and she did it her way. She didn't go knock off or just see what everybody else was doing and like decide that for herself. No, she like took her vibe and made it into something big. Okay. So lessons I've learned in building business. I've got my notes here for you guys. So I want to like share a lot of this. I want this to inspire you starting now, because Soul Aligned for Success, we start March 1st. So every morning you'll get your pep talk and things to do. But today I want to set you up for the rest of this month. Okay. Number 1, you have to be disciplined. Okay. The first thing I want you to start figuring out about yourself, what are your habits? Where do you block yourself in terms of being consistent? Start paying attention. Where do I kind of talk myself out of the need to be consistent in moving forward in my business? Do you wake up, set a chunk of time where you work towards growing? And this isn't about hustling. This isn't about going hard. This isn't about working every day, all day. It's about being consistent. If it's little things you want to do every single day, then let it be something little you do every single day, but you are consistent in it, consistently expanding, consistently growing. What habits are breaking you away from your consistency? And what habits are holding you back from taking a bigger risk? Maybe it is time for you to get a business card. Maybe it is time for you to put up the website or launch your Instagram or post some things on Instagram. When I started my interior design practice, I was just posting photos of the work that I was doing, but I was posting every single day. And if I didn't have like a client's home or my home that I was sharing a photo of it, then I was out there sourcing something, getting some inspiration, finding a new idea. I was doing, mood boards or pictures of putting things together. I did one thing every day, at least minimum every single day, that put my vibe out there, put my taste out there, my interest out there. So let's say with like jewelry, with my bracelets, especially when I started every single day, I was either doing a new photo, a new way you could style your bracelet, a new place to put your bracelet, a new way to wear it, new people. I would have other people's pictures. One thing, one post minimum a day. Some people do it like they make one phone call a day or 10, random phone calls a day. It shouldn't feel like work. It should feel easy. And that's what I want you to realize, like when you're in this and you're doing this consistently every day. If it feels like you have to force it and it's not fun, are you sure you're doing the right thing? If it's something someone else told you to do, maybe that's not for you, right? Like if somebody says, you want to post with all of these hashtags, and so it has to be like this, or maybe you want to go put your stuff on LinkedIn or Facebook and you want to do it in this way. If it doesn't feel good to you, it's not for you. That's what ease looks like in business. I get to do, this is a mantra, I get to do what feels good to me in my business. I get to do what feels good to me. You are the boss, you call the shots. Even in work, let's say if you're in corporate and you're trying to kind of build your personal brand and your personal vibe and create like your own essence in what you're doing. You do it in the ways that feel really good to you. Make it fun. When you're forcing, doing it how other people would do it, you're going against the magic that is you. You're going against your gifts and talents. It should be easy. It should feel easy. And if it's not, maybe it's not meant to be in what you do. Maybe you do it a different way. So really take that mindset shift and let it sink in for you. It is meant to be fun for you. Just think about it like this. If you're doing something in your business and you can't keep up with it every day, it doesn't feel good to you, you're not really into it, that's not what God wants you to experience. That's not the divine experience of you enjoying your life in business. When you are blissful, when you are happy, when you are like high vibe, that's going to come through in your work, and that's going to have people attracted to you like magnetically. You'll never have to actually like sell yourself. It's going to hit the right people or it's not. And you'll know every single person that you hit that is meant to be your customer, or that's who's meant for me. What is meant for me will never miss me. This is another thing. You have got to have your mantras in your work. I even as a mom have to have mantras. I kind of bit Roman's head off a little bit this morning because he was like making a disaster. I have to have mantras in my mind to keep me here, to keep me going in the right direction, moving in the right direction. That's where the work is. The work is always within here and within here. Okay, number 2, and this just takes it deeper. You have to do the inner work, which means the key to your success is self-awareness. It's never about a strategy. It is never about a strategy, marketing, any kind of anything like that. Your number one job is knowing when you are in fear, when you are in lack, or when you're in perfectionism, and when those things are holding you back. Right? They say that having a business or having any kind of passion, anything you do is the best personal development tool, personal growth tool on the planet. Knowing those moments when, you're letting the fear of what somebody's going to think of you from being louder. Maybe you're wanting to put flyers up at the local coffee shop for your business. Maybe you're wanting to put stickers all over. Maybe you're wanting to do live calls all the time, or get on Facebook Live, or get on Instagram Live. What is stopping you from being loud about what you're doing with people or for people? And if it's that you don't know what to say, then therein lies your problem. Therein lies your bigger work. And this moves us to number 3, showing up in your story. Consistently showing up and sharing your story. It's never really about selling. It's about being more visible. In what ways are you hiding out? In what ways are you not out there telling a story, sharing an idea, sharing a thought? More thoughts than you think you need to share. If you feel like you've posted too much or you've shared too much, share more. I promise half the people haven't even seen what you've done. Keep going and going and going. Be on fire for your story. Be on fire for what you've learned. I've got this one girl I work with. I'm coaching her. She's a local. And she's always thinking about everybody else. She's always thinking about how she can sell their expertise, how they're so amazing, or that person's so amazing, that person needs to connect with that person. And a lot of times we women think we're doing a good thing when we're promoting other people, when we're helping them out, when we're talking. And that is wonderful and beautiful. But are you doing it for yourself in the same way? Do you share yourself? Do you tell about your amazingness? Authentic stories will take you to your next level, being open and taking up more space. What can you talk about? What have you learned in your business journey? What have you learned in your life? And I want you to, spend some time in your journal really thinking about this, and don't overthink it. Part of getting to know yourself, and for you girls in the House of Bliss, this is really what the sacral chakra is all about. And this time, getting alone with yourself, getting intimate with yourself to an almost deeper level that you can share authentically what's going on with you. And get deeper. Just when you think you're deep, go deeper. When you have an issue with somebody, that's like an immediate time to sort of, instead of attack them, turn it here and go within. What am I afraid of right now? In what ways am I feeling lack? In what ways am I feeling fear? In what ways am I not tapping into the frequency of abundance? And the frequency of abundance kind of looks like, okay, let's say you have a client or an opportunity, and you're so nervous. You want that opportunity so bad. You want that client to work with you so bad, or you want that person to buy your things so bad, or sign up with you, or like all those things. You act like that person is on this pedestal and there's no other clients on the planet. And we start pedestaling people and pedestaling opportunities and going, it's that one, that one's the perfect one for me. That's my soulmate, that's it, that's the only one. There's millions of people on the planet, millions. It's kind of like dating guys, right? There's like millions of men on the planet, and we act like sometimes you meet one and that's like the thing. That's the one, that's the only one that's gonna do this, or the only one that's gonna have that. Anytime we're in that mode where we're pedestaling someone or something, we're in lack. We're not in abundance. Anytime we have an idea or a thought and we're like, oh man, but someone else just did that. I can't do that. Someone else they just did that. You're in lack. You are living in lack. You're not living in abundance. Oh, but they have more followers. They have a bigger whatever. They have this, they have that. They might have 130, 200, 500,000 followers. There's millions of people on the planet who have no idea who that other person is. There is room for you too. I remember my friend telling a story one time, I think in her podcast, she was saying like, in New York, there's like this big grocery store and then this little guy out front who's like selling fruit. And everyone goes to buy his fruit because it's so convenient, even though it's right in front of a grocery store, a huge competitor. Both are needed. In my city, in Houston, there are 2 Starbucks on like catty corner of an intersection. Okay. Same actual side of the intersection, just opposite sides of a big street. Both of them lines out and around the corner. Both of them. Same thing right next door. One is for people going north, the other is for people going south. There is enough for everyone. Never think that if somebody else has done it, or if somebody else has a client, or, you know, let's say like you're a real estate agent in a particular town, or an interior designer in a particular town, or, you know, you're the crystal jewelry of this city, or whatever it is, there's always room for more. There's always room for you. And there's always room for you to be big and be great. So you have to start showing up and acting like it. When you see the greatness in them, you have to see and you have to know that that greatness is also within you. You can't even recognize someone's amazingness without you holding that very same quality. You are meant for bigger too. And maybe even bigger than the biggest person. Right? You guys know I love Tony Robbins. He's so outkilled his mentor, who was like the biggest deal. So just remember, where are you living in abundance in your work, in your business? And these are the things that are so much more important than your business strategy, you guys. So much more important. It's that mindset. It's that inner belief. It's that inner work. It's that really digging deep down and knowing like, what are my gifts? What are the unique things I bring to the table? And all you have to do is start by going, what is my story? Where can I be more honest and authentic about who I am? What have I not told people about myself yet? What have I been hiding? What am I not sharing? What am I afraid to share? Because if someone might think about me. You, like, sharing more of you is more important than sharing more of your services or more of, you know, I see sometimes some people are like, oh, let me offer that. And then I'm going to offer this. And then I'll offer this because maybe that's not what they want. Maybe they want this. You could offer one service, but share more of who you are and you will just share more of that service. A big part of the game is visibility. And consistently getting up every single day and doing that like inner work to help you bloom out of you and be more visible in your business. Okay. Number 4. This was huge for me because I have a problem. I'm an extrovert and I'm extremely social. And I have FOMO like you would not believe. I love going out. I love going to lunches. I love grabbing cocktails with friends. I love going to dinners. Like I am like social goddess of life. I like love it. Okay. I also love being a homebody and I can spend time alone, but I love being out and about. But separation is required for elevation. You have to get comfortable being alone. Sometimes that woman came up to me with all my jewelry. I was going to dinner. I went to dinner by myself. I went to like this little event by myself. It's like a little networking event. And it was kind of like, you know, a dinner networking event type of thing. Sometimes you have to Take time out for yourself, being with yourself and by yourself. And a lot of times I will tell you, I notice a lot of people who struggle in business, codependency is a big problem. Codependency is needing other people to be on board with your message, be on board with what you're doing, needing to run your ideas by other people, needing to get permission from someone to do what you want to do, get feedback from other people to fan your flame and give you that validation. Where do you need other people on your path? Separation is required for elevation. That also looks like having to let go of people who don't believe in your dream, people who tell you the doubt. Or if you have a beautiful idea, and this has happened to me so many times, I was thinking about doing this, I was thinking about doing that, and they immediately come in with all the fear-based thoughts. Well, I saw someone else do this and they didn't do really well at that. Well, have you thought about this? That's a lot of money, or I don't know if you'll get that. And just all the different ways that other people might poo-poo on your idea or your dream or something that you want to move forward in. One, those people aren't taking their own, they aren't taking action on their own dreams. So of course, they're going to project that onto you. You only should take advice from somebody who is doing something bigger than you or something along the lines of the direction that you want to go. I'm not going to take money advice from someone who's broke or love advice from someone who can't have a relationship. You want to take advice from risk takers, from people who are passionate about their dreams, from people who go after their dreams, for people who are trailblazing and leading the way. You keep people in your circle who are like that. And if they're not like that, then maybe it's time to you don't have to break up with people. You could just take some space from people. Separation is required for elevation. And they say, you could look at it like it's lonely on the top. You could also look like it's a season of me and me. It's a season of a return to me. And I have to bring my energy back to me because too much is given, much is required. You've got to be re-energizing yourself. You've got to get enough rest to get up in the morning and have the energy to go after what you want to go for. It takes a lot to keep that mental game strong, to do the inner work, to show up for your business, show up in the ways that you need to show up so you can share your story, be visible, be out there, and feel high on life because you're fulfilled. You're pursuing your dreams. You're making money. You're kicking ass. You're creating content. And I'm literally just sharing this from my life. I think a couple months ago, several months ago, I took a hiatus from Instagram. I was like, I just don't even know what to post right now. I was hating it. I was not into it. I took some time away. I took some time alone. You guys know I dropped into my feminine frequency. I get into my meditation. I get into my zone of me. And now I have come back and I'm on fire sharing the things that I feel like I'm called to share. It is always about separating yourself, pouring into yourself. Do you guys know the story of Esther in the Bible? She was being primed to go meet the king. And it was The Bachelor. The king banished his wife and because she did him wrong. And he was looking for a new wife. And Esther, she was a Jew. And so she was not they were not looking for Jew women, but imagine The Bachelor. But this one woman, all the women would go out together and they'd all go hang out. Esther set herself apart and anointed herself in oil for 6 months, which just meant she read the word of God. She took baths, got in meditation, just got in her space, detoxed her body, just got herself clean and clear so that she could go with her passion, her mission, her confidence. And she pulled that king. He had eyes, like everything. It's the best story. You guys should watch the movie or like read the book in the Bible. It's so good. And she saved the Jewish people. The story of Queen Esther is like one of my favorite and most beautiful. And it's a perfect representation of when you set yourself apart for self-growth, for self-care, for self-anointing, for healing, you glow different. When you are out there giving your energy to all the tons of people who are begging for your energy, or you're sharing energy with people who are energy vampires, you're sharing your energy or taking in energy from people who have toxic energy, and you're taking on their energy. There's a lot of like, low vibes out there. I'm not telling you that you have to go be alone and be like a social leper, but you need to pour into yourself more. Pour into yourself first. Because when you come out there with your mission, with your passion, with your business, with what you are showing up to in life, even in your workplace, you need to glow different. You need to set yourself apart. If you want the head of the company to look at you and want to give you a raise, how are you showing up different? Are you out there going to happy hours and drinking with everybody and spending your time not on things that are nurturing and feeding you? This is the real game-changing stuff. It really is not about, I don't care how many people will tell you that there is like a formula, a method, a way to do newsletters or a way to do your social media or a way to do all of the things. Nothing really compares to when you are full from the inside, you are glowing and you are showing up in your authentic truth, in your story, in who you are, in what you are learning, in how you grow. When you go to do these activities, and the last thing I wrote in number 4 is like how to get ahead, get alone. Get comfortable being alone. Get comfortable being with yourself. Because with yourself, when you are by yourself, when you are sitting in silence, here's 2 different ways it can look. You can sit by yourself and you can binge Netflix and you can, maybe do things around the house and be distracted. You can sit on social media. You can be by yourself sitting on social media and you've taken on so much energy. But when you sit by yourself, with yourself and with your thoughts, you might be surprised by what you come up with. You might be surprised with what idea all of a sudden comes to you. Because I know many of you on this call, most of you on this call, you're connected to that sacral chakra. You're connected to that womb. You're connected to the spirit. Give the spirit room to speak to you. You will come up with an idea. You will have all the content ideas, all the maybe newsletter ideas or conversations to talk about, like so easily when you allow yourself to sit in stillness, whether it's through journaling, meditation, just kind of taking a bubble bath, phone down, get alone. You'll think of it. It is within you. You have to give it space to bloom. And then you can't, what if, like self-doubt it to death. If you have this momentary brilliant idea, the first thing you need to do is write down the idea and then what you're going to do to take action on that idea. There are so many ideas and thoughts that come to you, and then 2 seconds later you're going, that's not really going to work. Or that's not really that big of a deal, or I don't really have time to do that, or you're going to self-doubt your idea. It's natural. It's called the resistance. And then I want to tell you guys about a book because, I always love a book. I think it is The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. Let me Google this real quick to make sure I'm right, but I'm pretty sure it's The War of Art. And what he talks about, and it's a really easy, quick book. So it is like, It's not anything too difficult to read. You could probably read it in a day or two. Art of War book. The War of Art. That's what it's called. The War of Art. Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Inner Creative Battles by Stephen Pressfield. Okay? Read this book. It's going to help you with what I've shared with you today. It's going to help you kind of moving forward and just starting to understand the inner things that are blocking you from your success, especially when it comes to unleashing your creativity. And again, this doesn't just have to do with business. This is in everything. This is even in, maybe you're just trying to lose 25 pounds. And right now, that's your business. That's your focus. That's where you want to go. We do these same things. We're codependent. We need to do it with someone else. We're not consistent. We doubt ourselves. We allow ourselves to cheat. It's anything that requires you to be your bigger, better version of yourself. God wants the same thing for us that we want for ourselves. If we want a better, healthier body, that's what he wants too. If we want a bigger business that makes more money, that's what he wants too. Everything that you desire to experience, that is what's meant for you. So you have to remember that. And you have to be willing to do the inner work to get you there, and be willing to be vulnerable and share more of your story. Be louder, be out. Do you see these people? I mean, I'm assuming that most of you are at least around my age a little bit. And there are these 20-year-olds on TikTok going every day making millions of dollars. Right? I saw this girl. She's got a TikTok account and she is, oh, this makes me so happy, Chelsea. Thank you. I'm so happy. Good. I want you guys to be inspired. I want to give this to you guys so that you can just like get ready to go. Like it's time to go. Imagine this like little 20-something-year-old girl who she's like creating these TikToks. She has a little, literally like cheap gold jewelry brand. Like she sells crappy jewelry. Necklaces are like $15. Like it's not anything. She's selling millions from TikTok. I forget her name. Otherwise I would tell you guys. I'll tell you girls in House of Bliss. I can put it in the Facebook. She's got this little jewelry business and she's 18 years old or something. And now she's hired her grandmother. I think she's Polynesian. She's so cute. She's hired her grandmother and her mother and her cousin and her brother. And like, they're all like now living in LA and have grown into this store. Like she has a retail space now. All from just getting on TikTok and showing up talking every day. Every day. We are living in a world with such possibility. I don't know if you guys know what's going on in Russia right now. It's like all the stuff is just crazy. It's really scary. And it makes me feel very grateful for where we live. I'm very grateful, at least for today, that I feel safe and I'm able to have my problems be, what am I going to Instagram today? Right? Or what am I going to share today? What am I going to put in my newsletter today? That I have the opportunity to take time alone, not in fear with my life, and sit around. Like it's going to make me cry. And literally just like get out there and share who I am. Like some people don't even know if they're going to live to the next day or to the next week. Like, how would you live in your life if you weren't like every day? How am I going to show up louder? How am I going to show up with whatever is inside my heart and share it with the people of the world? I'm literally going to cry in a minute. Like, I am just like so moved by this. Like, you have a responsibility to live your best life, to live your story, to get out there and inspire people, to let your dream, your passion, your whatever is in you out there and not let it die. I know that you may not think there are people watching you, but there are. Even if it's just your children who see you every single day, to see mommy killing it, to have your parents look at you going, oh my God, look what my daughter did. look what my daughter did. My parents tell me all the time. They're both really entrepreneurial, but they're like, we wouldn't ever have been able to dream of doing what you do and how you do it. And to just come up with something like beaded bracelets, a silly little thing, which I thought everyone would think of me like, oh my God, how cheesy. And make it something in vogue or something that I have made like a substantial amount of money on, like a thriving business that brings people joy, brings people bliss. Like, what an honor. What a freaking honor. And I just feel like, oh my God, like, thank you, divine. Thank you, God, for putting me in a position, in a place where I have the opportunity to do something where I can give to people and change people's lives and do bigger things and share my message. And I feel like it's my responsibility to show up and show people that it can be done. And guess what? It's yours too. It is yours too. Do not take that opportunity for granted. We have a whole world of women, a whole world of people who don't have the opportunity to do what we are able to do. And maybe that's why we were put here for this time. Maybe you were born for this time, at this place where you are with your gifts and talents, specifically to be out there sharing them. Because maybe what you're doing will lead somebody to what they want to do. Give somebody hope. One of my biggest followers is in Ukraine, and she posted on Instagram today, and she was like, she's always blogging about or Instagramming about, I love your vision board book and I do all of this. And she's just like one of my favorite like people in my community. And she woke up this morning at 5 a.m. with bombs outside of her window. Like, that's wild. That is wild. We are so lucky and so blessed. And I just want to inspire you guys to not let the opportunity of your life, like the gift of your life, pass you by. It is time. I want you today to go, like, to wake up and be like, how am I showing up in my stuff today? Where am I going? Who am I talking to? How am I going to be better? How am I going to share better? Who can I share some love with today? How can I go do my duty and create what I'm meant to create? Maybe writing a book, maybe starting a jewelry line, but like whatever it is needs to be you. It needs to be by you, for you. I see Darlene's face. I'm like, you want to be in interior design? What kind of designs are you bringing to the world? What kind of homes are you bringing to the world? What is your stamp? What is your story? What is your message? What have you been through? What do you have to give and share? Myrna, real estate, right? What is your story you can share about living? I know minimalism is huge for you. I need to know all the reasons why. Get out there, write ebooks, write blog posts, do podcasts, do all of the things. Get louder, get out there. Like, do not waste your time. Do not waste your gifts and talents. You have the opportunity of a lifetime. Like, it is time. Don't sit and wonder. Don't go and read everybody else's how to do things. Just start doing it. Don't worry about what other people say to do, even though I'm like saying, listen to me, but test it for yourself. Don't listen to the strategies people are selling you. Don't listen to how to make this much money in this amount of time, or, do this. One of the things I see all the time is like this, like methods of sequences, like email sequences to build your list, or here's how to get consistent leads. F all that. Truly F all that. Literally get inside of your heart, share your story, meet more people, show up louder, get visible. How can you get more visible? How can you tell more authentic stories for yourself and from yourself? What message do you have to share? That's who we're meant to be in this world. Okay, hold on. I just want to look at a couple of comments before we go. Chelsea, thank you. I love you, Rashida. I just want to say you have been on fire lately and I have enjoyed your messages. I can definitely see that break did wonders for you. Thank you, my love. It really did. Getting alone, getting off of things, getting alone and not looking at other people and just kind of going like, who do I want to be? What message do I want to share? And I just started saying, fuck it, I'm going to share it. I'm not holding back for a second anymore. I'm sharing everything. I'm telling every story. I don't care. what anybody thinks. And that has been probably the struggle that's lingered for me the most has been what other people think. I censor my content based on, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, or what if this person or that person, what might they, that's been a very hard thing for me. I'm down to be bold and down to start a business and do the things. Like I have no fear, I have a lot of like confidence around that. But there have been a couple of those worried about what people in my life would think. That has been really hard for me. And it took time for me going alone and getting alone and having to like get within here and work through that. So thank you, Rashida. Sienna says, I needed this today. Loving this so much. Love you. Jess. Hi, Jess. Haven't seen your face. Yes, loving this. Ashlina, so glad I stumbled across your content in late 2020. Exactly what I needed when I needed it. Yes, because the people who are meant to come in your world will come in your world. And you may not even know about it. And all you need to do is tell the divine and pray, like, what is meant for me will never miss me. And what's not for me is not for me. I'm not for everybody. It doesn't matter if certain people don't resonate with my message, or if what I say doesn't hit with them. I ask the divine, push through me what is meant to hit others. Like, use me as a vessel. Show me my gifts and talents so I know what to use, when to use it, and how to use it. Like, I'm here, I'm willing to be a purpose and on purpose. So I love that, Jess. I love that you're in my world too. I love you. Hamali says, yes, I needed this so bad. You know, I love you, Hamali. Myrna says, I agree with all of y'all. Ashlina, thank you so much for this. This was needed. Myrna, come on. You know, you came into my world because we're soul sisters. Like, it was perfect. Jenny said, it is time. I love that. Yes. I do want to meet more people. Yes, we should be. And now things are lightening up. It's time we can meet more people. We can be out there. And who can you talk about your story and your message? I was out recently, and I think I said this in my House of Bliss podcast that I did for you guys privately. I met this guy. We were all at a dinner, and I met this guy, and he was asking me about what I was doing. So he Googled me right in front of him, and it says author. Like, when you Google me, it's author. And I was like, but that's not like, I am that, but that's like one facet of what I do. That's not even fully what I do. And then he was like, well, tell me what you do. And this is why, like, in this Soul Aligned for Success, we're going to dive more into like getting your personal brand down and how sharing your story and working on this, because it was so important for me to be able to share my personal brand and to be able to come across in that way. And even if you don't have a business, why you need a personal brand, and why right now is the perfect time to be spring cleaning your brand. We always need to be evolving and growing. And like, for me, it's year 3 in my jewelry business. March 1st is my 3rd year in jewelry business. How can I evolve my brand? Where can I go? If I was in my head, not in my soul, but in my head, I would start looking at everybody else thinking, I've got to be on the trends. I've got to be doing what other people are doing, like all these things. I know the way to my evolvement. I got to go within me. I've got to hear within, how have I grown? What's in my story? What am I here to share that helps me know where I'm meant to go next? It's always in here. It's never out there. And that's something that I have learned that I really want you guys to get today. Nothing is ever out there. Every ounce of wisdom that you need truly is within you. Are you letting yourself get quiet enough to hear it? Are you pushing away any thoughts of self-doubt, lack, resistance, and lack and abundance, like we spoke about earlier? That's a really hard dynamic to follow. Knowing that what is meant for you will never miss you. Having confidence in that statement right there is a big part of the game. Okay, Gemma says, so thankful for you sharing, Ashlina, bringing all the wisdom as always. I love you, Gemma. I'm always happy to share. Rashida, I totally agree with everything. How do you know that someone is copying you? Or what if they do not want to feel like you are copying someone, but have had their own thoughts and feels about the same business or designs or styles? The truth is, there's always going to be people that are inspired by you, maybe copy, it's just out there. I think Coco Chanel was a person that said, like, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, or something like that. It's always going to be out there, and it really doesn't matter, because you don't ever have to pay attention to what someone else is doing. No one can ever be you when you're you. When you look at someone's stuff and you're like, okay, I know that's her jewelry, or I know that's Love Ashleyna jewelry. When you see someone else put something out there and you don't know that's them, that's the difference of what makes something special and what makes something successful. So you don't have to worry about even just like an interior design, right? This was a big one, and people would always talk about like copying in the industry. But when people saw my stuff, they knew it was mine. When you see someone, like when you see Kelly Wearstler, who's like number one, it's Kelly Wearstler. You're not even, and she doesn't even care if people copy her or not. It's so signature. That's what personal branding is all about. You are so much a part of what you create that people know it's you. There's no different, and there's no like, oh, that's not hers. Like even Kendra Scott Jewelry, she's one of the people I am so inspired by, because you can pretty much tell what's a Kendra Scott thing. Well, especially in Texas. I know she's big in Texas. Or just think of brands. Look at brands you like, and look at how the person who creates them, it's their essence. Like I was saying earlier, Coco Chanel, everything like that woman is like so polished, and it's like, it's that way, right? Having a strong personal brand along with whatever your business is going to make a thriving business. You can maybe have like a business on Etsy or like wherever you sell your thing, or you sell whatever it is. But if you can't tell, oh, that's a Rashida, that's where you're not visible enough in your business. And I'm going to tell you this again to really hit it home. It doesn't even matter what kind of business you have. You need to be visible in your business. This is just where the world is, where things are, how things are going. We are not in a place where hiding behind your business or your brand gets you anywhere. You are what sell you. And it's a beautiful thing, because we're meant to shine. The divine wants us to shine. God wants us to shine. It's how we inspire other people. No longer do we look at like celebrities as the only thing to aspire to be like. Social media has revolutionized the world. We now fall in love with actual people. Reality shows, I mean, everything has really moved to this like falling in love with real people. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful time to be alive, and it's a beautiful opportunity for you to grow yourself, get to know yourself more, spend time on yourself, cultivate your message, cultivate who you're meant to be, and get visible and share that with the world, and feel like you're doing something with a purpose, like you're doing something major with heart that makes you feel alive and fulfilled and on fire and with passion, that will also have people so radiant towards you, because it's a fully feminine frequency to be thriving, not to be chasing or forcing things to happen, but to be so pouring into yourself that everything you touch turns to gold and you become magnetic. And that number one, you're building the relationship with yourself. You're building self-trust. You're building self-worth. You're building self-confidence, and you're building self-love. The 4 foundations of any successful business person. Okay, Darlene says, I definitely needed this. I'm so excited to start Soul Aligned for Success. Me too. I'm like so excited, because I love the morning pep talks. One, like what is better than every day for 21 days, like a morning little video pep talk? And I don't know, last time I created it for Soul Aligned, it was like, oh, my favorite. This one, I just feel a little bit more even passionate about, because I feel like this is going to inspire leaders, game changers. Right? I am so excited for it. Okay, Rashida says, okay, that makes sense. Like Prada released the first heart-shaped bag this season, and then Kate Spade and then Coach did too. Totally. Totally. And then the cool thing is like, something is Kate Spade. People can always take inspiration off each other and people are always like copying, but like when you make it you, it can be game changing. When you copy without any making it you, it falls flat. You don't have a big response. But when you make it you, when you have taken the time, you've done the inner work, and that's what we're going to do in Soul Aligned Success. Do the inner work for this. The inner work that has the self-trust, self-confidence, the self-worth, and the self-love, and the self-belief in the idea that you get. You're given an idea to put out there. You always are. You just have to do the inner work to stop the barriers and the bullshit in your head that keep you from going forward with it. Right? That's how it works. Okay, any other questions before I let you guys go back to your day? And I need to check out that Prada bag, that heart Prada bag. That sounds very, very cute. I love hearts. It's like my favorite. Okay, it's sold out. See, it will sell out when it's meant to, when it's something incredible. It's something birthed from within. That's how it's meant to be. And it's meant for all of you. So that's the exciting thing. So get with it and get ready and get knowing from all these notes today. And I'll have this in the background to play again, if you guys need to listen. But your biggest thing is like, how can I be more visible? Where can I be more visible? It's the first thing I want you guys to start. And then for those of you who signed up for Soul Aligned for Success, I am so excited to see you. The discount ends this afternoon. So if you have been wanting to get in, make sure you use the code EARLYBIRD in all capital letters to make sure you get that discount. But I love you guys so much. I will see you soon. Thank you for being here with me today and celebrating my 3-year anniversary for Love Ashleyna. I am so excited. So fun. So thank you guys. All right. Love you. Bye.